Sega, Sonic Team, if somehow you came across this video or someone shared this with you, this is what real fans want for the next Sonic game. Hey guys, my name is Socks45and6. Most people just call me Socks though, and today we're talking about what I want and fans want in the next Sonic game. But before I get started, if you guys enjoy Sonic plush videos and Sonic discussion videos, please leave a like. That tells me that you're obviously enjoying the content and it's going to push me to keep on going. And if you are new to subscribe, I'm trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of 2020 so I can play Sonic 06 for you guys. But again, before we get started, let me go ahead and recap Sonic Forces for you guys. Okay, I'm not going to recap the entire thing, just that pretty much Sonic Forces was a disappointment, meaning that basically for the 25th anniversary, that is not what we needed. We needed a good game to reestablish how great Sonic was. So, having like only 2 level designers and they were both new, that's a big minus. And just so you know, this is not me trying to hate on Forces. Other people will do that for me. I'm just trying to say that out of 100, I'll give it a 50. It wasn't great, it wasn't terrible, but it was definitely meh. So, how do we step up from the lackluster game that Forces was? I mean, we did have Sonic Mania, but most Sonic fans don't really count that as Sonic Team's game, well, because they didn't work on it. So, to answer that question, this is what I and real Sonic fans want from the next Sonic game. So, mainly what I want is obviously the next game to be a 3D title. Not really sure what the story tone would be. Probably more of a darker story. I wouldn't want it to be as kiddie as Forces though. Kiddie meaning that, I mean, it was cheesy Sonic saying like Infinite was a clown. I mean, it can be funny in the moment, but it's kind of cheesy in my opinion. I would also want multiple characters. You guys knowing that I actually kind of like 06 more than most people. I mean, that's not really an unpopular opinion now, since most Sonic fans actually like 06. Don't know why, it just changed. Coming from that background, I would actually really like to have maybe Tails and Knuckles playable again. I mean, we do have Shadow playable technically in Forces, but not really what I'm looking for, nor the custom character Classic Sonic. I would also want new writers, maybe like an Ian Flynn. Anyone new though. It doesn't have to be Ian Flynn, he's just the guy that always comes to mind because, I mean, he is a great writer in my opinion. You get people from the IDW, different people. You can get fans, anyone, just new writers. Because mainly I'd really like to see a new perspective from Sonic. I mean, obviously keep his cockiness, but maybe tone it down a bit. That's something that these writers currently can't figure out or understand. But anyways, that's all I really want. I mean, more CGI cutscenes to make the game more beautiful and interesting. But let's go ahead and get to what the fans want. The next one comes from my guy, QMB. He says, I think the new Sonic game should be Sonic Adventure style, as the boost is getting kinda stale in my opinion. I want the storyline to act as Sonic Unleashed storyline. I want the storyline to get dark, but not overly dark, where it becomes someone dies and Sonic's grieving. I want the game to look nice, which I expect from any Sonic game. Lastly, I want a 2-player mode, where you can play as Tails or Knuckles if they made the mode for 1 player, but you can play as them. That'd be cool. I also hope Sega doesn't screw up this time or Sonic is going to die. I tend to agree with him on this one. I actually didn't say what formula I wanted, because if it is Boost, it just needs to be done well, and if it is Adventure, it just needs to be done well. I don't really care which one it is. I have an exhilarating time with Boost, and I have a really fun time with Adventure. And for the story being just kind of like Unleashed, or just like a darker version of Unleashed, I agree with that. It needs to be a little bit different, but maybe just as long as Unleashed and stuff like that. And of course, I would really like multiplayer, being able to play as Tails and Knuckles. As like, when was the last time we were able to play as Knuckles besides like 2D games? I can't remember myself. This one comes from Mr. Friendlyman F, and again, thank you for submitting. He says, for me, I would like another modern Sonic game, but with a great story like Adventure or Unleashed, and multiple characters for the gameplay. And he says, you know, like Adventure when they have their own stories. I don't know if you guys are getting this, but I'm starting to see that many fans kind of want a hybrid of Sonic Unleashed and maybe Sonic Adventure. I mean, those are only 2 people, but many other people have been saying, I kind of want a story like Unleashed, but with like the playable characters and when they had their own stories. So maybe they may have to bring that back, I'm not sure. Moving on, this comes from my guy, classicsonicmaniac. He says, I think Sonic Adventure because it has a great story, amazing amount of characters. The graphics and the playability were good, but not the best since it was from 1998. So what'd you expect? And then he goes on to say that he wants to be in one of my videos because Obviously, he hasn't been in one of my videos in a minute. So, off of what you said, I'm starting to think that you want obviously a Sonic Adventure remake. And I'm all for a remake. I've heard some people say that we don't need a remake. Some people really want a remake. Usually, some of the Sonic old heads, no offense to them, obviously, because they are great, in my opinion. But I wouldn't mind a Sonic Adventure remake. And yeah, that's all I've got to say for that. Now coming in with about 2 or 3 left. This one comes from a guy named The Big Gup. I'm sorry, dude. I don't know how to pronounce that. He says, I personally want another Sonic Mania. You know, the fun platforming game with a light story, not counting forces, but with all the new zones and definitely no Green Hill Zone because I like Green Hills, but it needs to rest for a while. More characters like Amy Rose and the Chaotix, more options made for convenience such as Tails having flight cancel or being able to switch between super and normal. Better multiplayer with things as player 2 making more of an impact by turning super, as well as the camera zooming out the farther they get away from player 1. Online multiplayer with options like co-op and versus, but that's all I can think of. Now, personally, I've been on the classic Sonic hype train for a long time, especially the Mania hype train itself. I've always wanted a Sonic Mania 2, but I've heard people saying that we're not going to get a Sonic Mania 2 for the 30th anniversary, or we're not going to really get it until, I don't know, later in classic Sonic's career per se. But you never know, and I really, really, really want a Sonic Mania 2, so I like that one, I really do. The next one comes from a guy named Doug Snub. I think I am pronouncing that right, but as you guys know, I don't know how to pronounce names. But I'm not going to read this word for word, as this was kind of hard to read, as some things were just spelled wrong, and I just kept on messing up, so I did summarize it to the best of my ability. He says pretty much that he wants kind of a Sonic Adventure 2 type of game. He wants the Chao Garden to return and be able to pick characters for whatever level that you have a character in. So obviously he's thinking of a multiplayer-esque game. So let's say you play as Tails. Tails would go to the Chao Garden, or Big, or Amy, or Sonic, so on and so forth. And he kind of wants a happier tone and a new villain, kind of like Bowser Jr. from Super Mario Sunshine, like a kind of a jokester type of villain. Then he wants the battle mode to return, and he also wants kind of a racing, multiplayer, side project to go with it. And then he wouldn't mind if the game was actually Sonic Adventure 3. Now, as you diehard Sonic fans know, on the Sonic Twitter, they actually tweeted something. It was like Super Sonic and how he actually looks aesthetically pleasing, or something like that. And there was a 3 on his quill or something. So you never know. It may be a Sonic Adventure 3. But I am going to be making a video about that next week, so stay tuned. Alright, and there's 2 more I want to show you. This one being from Night of Eternal Arcadia. He says, for gameplay style, I would rather have them return to the adventure formula, but another boost formula is fine too, as long as it's done well. As for the tone of the story, a dark and light story can both work, but I would prefer a story with high stakes and nice character interactions. And for multiplayer, local multiplayer would be nice if you could race each other and do certain missions with each other. If they were going to do an adventure type deal, I think SA2's multiplayer is a great example. Maybe add online leaderboards so you can test your times against other players around the world. I also would like to see a return of CGI cutscenes that are only used nowadays as trailers and intro videos. Now, this one was actually very interesting because it's kind of what I want as well. If it is going to be boost, it needs to be done well. And something that I noticed with the multiplayer is that a lot of you guys really want online multiplayer or racing type of multiplayer stuff. But from all of these that I read, everyone kind of wants a Sonic Adventure type of game. If it's a Sonic Adventure remake, Sonic Adventure 2 remake, if it's both of them in its pack, kind of like Mario All-Stars, if it's Sonic Adventure 3 for God's sake. Everyone kind of wants it to go back to Sonic Adventure formula. But before I let you guys go, there's still one more submission that I have yet to put in, and that's for my guy, Ali. I still don't know how to pronounce it, but you already get the point. I'm not reading this one off word for word either, well, because this is a book. You didn't give me a summary, you gave me an entire book, which I'm okay with, dude. But that is so much, and it's so awesome, and I've already read it, so my thoughts are pretty much this. It's pretty much what everyone wants. It's just an adventure type of game. I mean, you went in really depth with it, and I've already read it as I said. So, you have your own different twists that many other people would like to change, or maybe you guys agreed on it. But at the end of the day, it looks like everyone kind of wants an adventure-style game. So, Sega, try to find a balance between a Sonic Adventure game or a Boost game. You just gotta figure it out, because at this point, it looks like many fans are just ready for that change and to go at a kind of slower pace, because you do not have to see Sonic going at blistering high speeds at all times. It's just the truth. You don't have to see him going 100,000 miles per hour every single time. And Adventure does bring that slow pace, and that, I think, is the new Sonic for right now. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, and if you're new, subscribe. I just want to say that I really want to hit 100 subscribers by the end of 2020. I'm at 80 at the moment, so that's only 20 more of you guys. And once I hit 100 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a 100 subscriber special and playing all 3 stories in Sonic 06, Sonic, Shadow, Silver, well 4 technically if you're going to count the last episode. And at the moment, I did have to cut the schedule back down to 2 videos instead of 3 videos a week. My mom has been diagnosed with breast cancer, so I hope you guys all understand. Anyways, I love you guys. Wear your socks. Peace.